You know who this is? It's Mike Vick. This is not your typical fantasy game. Download now.
I'm Trayvon Mullen, and welcome to SuperDraft. This is SuperDraft. No salary cap and no bull. What are you waiting for? Hit the download button.
This is Floyd Money Mayweather. It's time to make some real money. Get a deposit bonus up to $500. Download now.
You know who this is? It's Mike Vick. It's time to get paid. You know what to do. Download now.
Hey, this is Floyd Mayweather. Come play with the champ. Get a deposit bonus up to $500. Download now.
This is Trayvon Mullen, cornerback of the Las Vegas Raiders. There's enough winning to go around. Download the SuperDraft app in the App Store or Google Play.
You know who this is? It's Mike Vick. This is not your typical fantasy game. Download now.
I'm Trayvon Mullen, and welcome to SuperDraft. This is SuperDraft. No salary cap and no bull. What are you waiting for? Hit the download button.
This is Floyd Money Mayweather. It's time to make some real money. Get a deposit bonus up to $500. Download now.
You know who this is? It's Mike Vick. It's time to get paid. You know what to do. Download now.
Hey, this is Floyd Mayweather. Come play with the champ. Get a deposit bonus up to $500. Download now.
This is Trayvon Mullen, cornerback of the Las Vegas Raiders. There's enough winning to go around. Download the SuperDraft app in the App Store or Google Play.
You know who this is? It's Mike Vick. This is not your typical fantasy game. Download now.
I'm Trayvon Mullen, and welcome to SuperDraft. This is SuperDraft. No salary cap and no bull. What are you waiting for? Hit the download button.
This is Floyd Money.
And we're back. It's FantasyGainz. You're looking at Squish. You're looking at Kyle. Kyle, how's your hump day? How's your hump day going? You remember that hump day?
Yeah, I know. That was a long time. I don't even know when that trend started.
It's your day off too. What'd you do today? What'd you do?
Yeah, well, I had to have a meeting a little bit. Didn't really do much other than that. So
hashtag no days off.
I'm here with you. So I'm excited.
It's a good day. It's a good day then.
And the NBA Finals is tonight. You know.
Yeah.
It's
before we get to that, we got a lot to get to. I need to bring this up. MLB Playoffs, right?
Mm-hmm.
They started yesterday. It's a new format. I was watching the Yankees-Indians game last night, and Matt Fiskerson made reference to Sony PlayStation at least 20 times during that game. And I think it's disgusting how somebody can take a bag from Sony and just throw their product out there. It makes me sick, and it makes me so gross that I need to take a sip of this Polar Cranberry Lime 100% natural seltzer. It's calorie-free, and it really wets your whistle. It's nice and crisp. It makes me sick that I had to do that because of Matt Fiskerson giving free ads.
I hear you.
Makes me sick. All right, let's get to it. You mentioned
sad.
it, the NBA Finals. They're starting. Heat Lakers, LeBron against Spo and Pat Riley. What do we got? What are your thoughts for these finals?
So I'm disappointed the Celtics aren't in, but they frankly don't deserve it. I mean, Miami was the better team. They deserve to make the finals. And from a fantasy perspective, I would say looking at the draft group right now, my biggest takeaway is I think Goran Dragic, who is at 1.8x right now, he is going to be the guy that you should be relying on consistently for Miami. Yeah. I think he is out of all the, even, Bam has been really good, obviously Jimmy Butler as well, but Dragic has been, ever since the playoffs have started, he has been basically the best scorer on Miami. He's averaged 20.9 points, 4.7 assists, 4.2 rebounds, and 35.1 fantasy points per game. And as you can see on the screen there, 1.8x and that brings his average to 63.18, which
and that's just in the utility spot.
Exactly. And that is, if you take that average, that's around what Giannis and James Harden were scoring for the regular season. And he's been doing it for the playoffs. And the thing that impresses me the most about it is he's been doing it against really good perimeter defenders. Like in the first series, they played Indiana. He had to go up against Malcolm Brogdon and Victor Oladipo. In the second round, faced Milwaukee, had to face Eric Bledsoe, Chris Middleton. And then the Celtics series, he did get to torch Kemba Walker a little bit. And then he got to face Marcus Smart. He had to face Marcus Smart, who is first team all defense. So he's had to face he's put up these really good numbers against good fantasy, against good defensive players. And the thing that encourages me the most with this matchup against the Lakers is he doesn't have to face anyone of that caliber. He's going to be guarded mostly by Alex Caruso, Rajon Rondo, Contavious Caldwell-Pope. So he has a really good opportunity here to really score the basketball and put up a big fantasy point numbers. And
that's where the Lakers are missing Avery Bradley in this bubble.
Mm-hmm, exactly. And Avery Bradley would be a perfect guy to throw at Dragic. But and the thing that kind of worries me about the other two guys that you would look at are Jimmy Butler and Bam Adebayo is Bam is most likely going to be guarded by Anthony Davis, who, defensive player of the year candidate, great individual defender. And Jimmy Butler he has a weird thing where he kind of disappears in the first halves of these games and doesn't really look to score the ball that often, while Dragic has been much more aggressive in the playoffs. And I think with what he's done so far in the playoffs, I think he should be a guy that you should have locked in, not just for game one, but for the whole series.
Yeah. All 4 games. All 4 games.
I think this is going 7 games.
You think it's going 7? I'll give you 6. Yeah. I'm not giving you 7.
And guess who's winning the series?
Oh, you got the Heat?
The Miami Heat will be winning this series in 7 games.
I'll buy you a Choco Taco if that happens. I'll buy you a Choco Taco.
And Goran Dragic will be a big reason why. And you should be playing him in every single champion mode slate that we put up on SuperDraft for the NBA Finals. So,
all right, Kyle, we get it. We love your analytics. We love the stats. We love everything about that. But I'm going to teach you something about Manalytics. All right? This is something that you can't count this. You can't see it. You have to feel it. And Tyler Hero has Manalytics, not just about what he's done in this postseason as a 20-year-old, but because Kyle Kuzma is over there on the opposing bench. You know what? The difference between Kyle Kuzma and Tyler Hero? Tyler Hero has the girl. He's dating Kyle Kuzma's ex-girlfriend. That's all you need to know. Tyler Hero should be in your lineup every single night just because of that. Manalytics over analytics every day of the week. That's all I have to say. I don't need numbers. I don't need performances. I could give them to you.
Tyler
Hero's got the girl.
Off. Yeah, and you know what? I think that's a big reason why he's been literally just playing with unbelievable confidence this entire playoffs. Like he is just throwing up shots. He doesn't care at all about what's going on. He doesn't give a shit about anything.
Rumor has it he had to tape the thing to his leg the whole last series, if you know what I mean. That's how well he's playing. That's how much confidence this guy has.
He's making the perfect passes. He's flying in for rebounds. He's taking threes over like Marcus Smart. Like he doesn't care. And it's worked out huge. It's worked out greatly for him. And with Kyle Kuzma on the other side, that's gonna add an even bigger chip to his shoulder to show up Kyle Kuzma, and he's gonna go out there and he's gonna have a big series. And even if LeBron is guarding him, he's gonna look at LeBron and be like, "Who the hell is this guy guarding me? I can break this guy off the dribble. I can break this guy down off the dribble." So I love Tyler Hero.
We got a lot to get to, but quickly looking at just the player pool, you see James and Davis there at 1x and 1.1. And then the next 5 are Heat players. There's so much value on the Heat. That's where I would lean. 1x LeBron, 1.1 Davis, Adebayo, the next closest one at 1.4, just in utility. A lot of value on the Heat this series. But let's get going. We have a great NBA Finals to watch. We have a horrid, awful, disgusting Thursday night football game that I'm excited for because I love bad football. We have the Broncos and the Jets. Kyle, your must start of this week player pool that's out there.
This is simply a disgusting football game. It is an affront to the NFL as a league. It is an absolute disgrace. It's going to be terrible.
Americans, we're addicted to football. If you give us bad football, we're going to watch it. If you give a drug addict bad drugs, they're still going to do the drugs. You know why? Because they're addicted. That's us with bad football. Keep going.
We're addicted to daily fantasy sports. And that's the only reason you watch this game is you pick your guys in your lineup and you watch this garbage game to see if your lineup can get you in the cash. And that's why for this game, you should select Melvin Gordon, who this is such a bad draft group you got here that you're really trying to muster up anything you can get. But Melvin Gordon, who he's only a 1.1x as a flex, and then if you want to champion him, he's a 1.65x. He had a rough week last week against Tampa Bay. Didn't do much, but Tampa's got a great run defense. And that is something he will not be facing this week against the Jets, who have allowed who are 26th in the league in fantasy points allowed to opposing running backs. And we saw what Gordon did the first 2 weeks. He got 14.1 week 1, 15.4 in week 2. And they're going to have to rely on him because they have some guy named Brett Ripien starting this game, who I have not heard of until they announced him as the starting quarterback.
Ian.
Yes. R.I.P.
See what I did there?
You go. Yeah.
Got him.
Nice job by you there. But yeah, Melvin Gordon is going to get a lot of carries because of Brett Ripien starting this game. So that's who I like. But the guy that you like the best, you actually stole him from me.
Oh, sorry. I didn't realize you paid to talk about Braxton Berrios. I'm sorry that I got that on the sheet of paper before you did.
So I'm not going to have any rebuttal to what you say. So
I know. I will say, I mean, yes, you're putting a hard.
Take it away and tell us why Braxton Berrios will be great tonight or Thursday.
You were putting a hard spot, right? I already took Berrios. Gordon is definitely going to have a high floor. Braxton Berrios, he has some juice. The Jets receiving core and their weapons aren't doing anything. And the theory, you're going to have to score points in this game because it's football. They're not going to get blanked. They're going to score at least a couple touchdowns. If you're me, I actually think the Jets are going to win this game. But Braxton Berrios, week 2, 8 targets, 6 catches, 59 yards, and a tutty. Week 3 followed it up with 4 for 4 for 64 yards and a touchdown. All the way up in the low 50s when you factor in his 3.55 in your champion. And even if you want him in utility, it's 2.35. You got plenty of juice there.
Beautiful.
I mean, looking up and down this slate, there aren't many guys that, that really tickle your fancy. But we talked about Ripien, right? And we all know he's a placeholder for when the dart smoking, bush latte chugging Blake Bortles comes rolling in. I don't hate putting Blake Bortles somewhere in your lineup, expecting Ripien to get pulled really quick. I don't do it. And guess what? In SD Gold Club, you better believe one of my lineups is going to have Blake Bortles as my champion. Because in the event that Ripien gets pulled, which, you know what? If there are odds in Vegas for that, I would say that's the favorite. Ripien is not going to finish this game as the quarterback.
Well, if you
And
play
I need to see Blake Bortles.
If you play Blake Bortles in Gold Club, you're gonna find yourself in a nice dead last spot in the Gold Club contest.
All right, I'll be right next to you, just like every week.
I've cashed a couple times, so there
I'm
you
just
go.
kidding.
You did not cash because of Taysom Hill.
Oh,
But yeah, but anyway, yeah, Bortles. I'd like to see it just for the entertainment of this game. But
yeah,
as far as if we're giving advice to the people out there, do not play Blake Bortles.
I'm no play Blake Bortles. If you got plenty of lineups, if you got plenty of cash to sling around, Blake Bortles, I wouldn't be shocked if he gets up to about 10% owned for this slate, Kyle. Do you want to put a wager on that? We'll put dinner on, like a cheap dinner, not some fancy steakhouse that you like going to. A cheap dinner, over under 10% ownership in here in this contest for Blake Bortles. I'm going over 10. You're going under 10. Do we want to make that bet?
Sounds good to me.
All right, Taco Bell it is. We're going to get going.
Bang.
Your must start of this weekend slate, Kyle.
So, the Dallas Cowboys, they had Blake Jarwin got hurt week 1, and Dalton Schultz has been the tight end the last 2 weeks for the Cowboys, and he's put up some nice numbers for them. So week 2 against Atlanta, 9 catches, 88 yards, and a touchdown. Last week against Seattle, 4 catches for 48 yards. Again, not too special, but the thing that you see here is the 2x multiplier. I mean, Dalton Schultz is going to have the same multiplier as Blake Bortles. So, I mean, that tells you all you need to know about the how value he is.
My brain isn't smart enough to know if you were agreeing with me or dissing me, but keep going. I just can't comprehend if you were trying to dig me, but go ahead. I'm not smart enough.
Okay. But yeah, Dalton Schultz has the 2x multiplier, and that's great for a start. You will take that any day for a starting tight end, any day. And like with the amount that Dallas is throwing the ball lately, I mean, Dak is just throwing it all over the field so far to start the season. I mean, I like it a lot. And Cleveland, the Browns have had a bad time trying to cover their opposing tight ends. They are 29th in fantasy points allowed to opposing tight ends. So, this feels like a perfect matchup for Dalton Schultz if he gets you 1 touchdown, which, I mean, if, Cleveland's is bad at covering tight ends, I wouldn't put it past them at all. Like, that's already great value at 2x. So, and especially with 1 tight end slot for SuperDraft in your lineup, you only can choose 1 tight end. I think he is the best tight end in this draft group right now with his value at 2x. So
you had your must start a tight end. I'm not giving my must start yet. I'm going to flip to my fade because he's a tight end and we can piggyback off that. I'm fading Travis Kelce this week for one of the reasons. Dalton Schultz is in this draft group is one of the reasons. Travis Kelce, it's going to be hard to fade him, right? Even at 1x, he's going to put up some points. 27 targets, 21 catches, 227 yards, 2 touchdowns this season. He's only averaging 15 points because of that 1x. So you do not want Travis Kelce in your lineup, especially because he's going up against this Patriots defense. Now, yes, not the Patriots defense we saw last year. They've struggled a lot against wide receivers, but against tight ends, 12 targets, 8 catches, 73 yards, only 1 touchdown. I know Travis Kelce, a lot better tight end than the other tight ends they saw. I don't care. There's enough weapons on that team where the Patriots are going to come in. They're going to try to stop Kelce, Hilaire will be the third guy they're going to try to stop. But you're going to leave Hardman. You're going to, what did I say?
Hilaire.
What did I say? Hilaire?
Okay, you didn't understand that one. Steve Levy pronounced his name Hilaire instead of Hilaire the entire game on Monday night.
Well, that's hilarious. Anyways, they're going to beat them. They can beat them a multitude of different ways. They don't have to force the ball to Travis Kelce. And at 1x, I'm staying away because of guys like Dalton at 2x, because of like Higbee has more value, Darren Waller, Mike Gesicki, even TJ Hawkinson, who we're going to talk a little bit about later if we get to that. But fade Travis Kelce. Don't want him this week.
Who's your full slate start?
Oh, my full slate start. We'll make this quick. Devin Singletary, 1.6x. he is the lead back in Buffalo. Zach Moss is hurt. He's questionable. We don't know if he's going to play. But Devin Singletary has gradually progressed every week. He was shaky at first, 53 total yards week 1. Week 2 was 76, all the way up to 121 in week 3. He's got 23 carries on 127 yards in his last 2 weeks. He can catch it out of the backfield, 15 targets first 3 weeks, 11 catches, and he's due. No touchdowns. That just tells me that he's due for a score.
100%.
He's due. There's no other way around that. You tell me, it just means he's not going to score a touchdown. All I hear is he's due. He's going to score one. That's why I make money, and you don't make money. I'm not talking about you, Kyle. I'm talking about the royal you. Or is it the you? Those people, the audience.
The audience. There you go.
I'm just saying. Just saying. You say he's not going to score. All I hear is he's due.
I feel you. I think that's a good pick. I mean, Josh Allen.
He's got a great matchup too. Vegas can't stop the run. We saw it last week against New England. They've let up 400 yards on the ground and 6 TDs in the first 3 weeks. 26 catches, 255 yards, 2 touchdowns, 2 running backs through the air. That's all you need to know. You're gonna put Devin Singletary in your lineup. You're gonna take those Singletaries, and you're just gonna make it rain.
Yeah, that's a phrase.
Was that a little cringy?
Yeah.
All right, that's
a phrase of a different company that we don't need to speak of. So my fade is AJ Green. I love AJ Green. What am I saying? I hate AJ Green. AJ Green has been so bad this year. I mean, I've been really disappointed with what I thought with Joe Burrow coming in. He's going to have a resurgence season after being injured, but these first 3 games, 7.6 points, 4.4, 6.1. And that's just that's numbers of like a number 3 receiver and not a star like AJ Green is supposed to be. And his multiplier hasn't moved at all so far.
Yep.
So he's still at 1.3, and he just looks injured out there. And I don't think he's not someone you can rely on at all so far early this season. And I think until he shows you that he'll give you anything, I think you just gotta, or if the multiplier drops way down, 1.7, 1.8 range, I think you just gotta stay away from AJ Green this week and until going forward. So that's who I got for my fade.
I will say the Bengals are throwing the ball. Joe Burrow is slinging it. He is getting plenty of targets, but the beneficiary of that's been Tyler Boyd. Tyler Boyd's been his favorite target all season long. Even the tight end Uzama before he got hurt. So, I mean, I see what you're saying, but he is going to get targets, but I agree. AJ Green is – every year you hear AJ Green. He's coming back. He's going to do this. And then he gets hurt. And then when he's playing, he doesn't produce. So I agree.
It's just – it's really just – it's the injury that kind of killed him. So, I don't know. We'll see how it goes. Do you want to quickly do your –
We'll do some stacks really quickly. This is going to be a popular stack, right? This isn't going to be low owned. It's that Seattle Miami game. It's going to be plenty of points, horrid defenses on both sides, quarterbacks that like to sling it. I'm going with Fitzpatrick just because he's got more juice than Russ, but this is just to show you need exposure to this game. If you didn't already know, which you do, I'm not the first person to tell you this. Seattle's defense to quarterbacks allowing 67% completion, over 1,300 yards, 6 touchdowns first 3 weeks. To tight ends, only 9 catches and 105 yards for no touchdowns. So I don't like Gesicki in here. I don't, especially after what they did last week. I swear, he had about 25% of the snaps. I was furious because allegedly I had some player props taken on Mike Gesicki, allegedly, that didn't hit by a long shot.
One catch. That's it.
Every time I looked at the screen, the other 2 tight ends were in there. I was just that bet lost before, allegedly. And then Miami defense, they've only allowed 4 touchdown passes this season. But that was to the only formidable wide receiver core that they saw. Diggs and Brown, 12 catches, 235, 2 touchdowns. Stack that game. I know you got like 30 seconds, Kyle. I'm sorry, but go for it.
I'll fly through mine. So Matthew Stafford, 1.5x. He's going up against the Saints. Saints have struggled a little bit against the pass this year, so I'd go with him. Alvin Kamara has been phenomenal this year, just tearing up all the defenses he's facing. And he's facing a weak Detroit defense. So, and Drew Brees has a noodle arm at this point. So it's going to continue to be the Alvin Kamara show for the Saints offense. And TJ Hawkinson has, after one huge game last season, he started to become more consistent this year. And the Saints have had a really bad time covering against opposing tight ends. So I think Stafford to Hawkinson is going to be a combination that you're going to be hearing a lot during this game. So, yeah, I love those three guys. Yeah, go Lions.
I think the Lions pull it off.
Big Lions fan.
I think they pull it off.
I wouldn't be surprised. I mean, they beat Arizona last week, so they're trending in the right direction. Even though Matthew Stafford is not a Hall of Fame quarterback, he's a pretty good guy to have. He's a pretty good guy to have this week, but he's not making any Hall of Fames, but he's good.
This has been FantasyGainz. That's Kyle. I'm Squish. I have nothing further to say.